Hello, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Very nice to welcome you to today's discussion. It's my real pleasure to host you today, both from our incredible campuses of Les Roches, both in Marbella with our unique Mediterranean setting and great sun that we have, and of course from our Les Roches Crans-Montana campus with its breathtaking mountains on the Swiss Alps. Today, we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic, and I have great people that are accompanying me in this session. So I ask you to, first of all, join us in discovering how hospitality education at Les Roches can create sustainability agents of change through both our curriculum and our campus's best practices. Before we get into the discussion that we're going to be having today, just to set a bit of context, because I think it's quite important to understand the enormous opportunity that hospitality has regarding sustainability, especially if we review the figures of job creations, the number of jobs that hospitality generates, the amount of international travel, which of course has been dipped in the past 2 years, but seeing how the tourism is evolving is very optimistic, and mainly on the contribution of hospitality towards the global GDP. This comes to make us think that there are two important things, or two clear things. Everyone and every business in hospitality has an amazing and individual collective opportunity to help humans fight against climate change. And the second thing is, we have the resources and mainly the responsibility to do it. At Les Roches, we believe that hospitality education could be and will lead the way in setting the example. By doing this, through our universities, through Les Roches, we can enable businesses, hospitality businesses, to employ talent that always have an eye on sustainability. How do we do this through our campuses is what we're going to be going through in our session today. We'll talk about how we set the standards on campus, how sustainability is key within our curriculum, how we collaborate, how we view sustainability in a holistic way, and what we're doing on campuses to create spaces for innovation. So in today's discussion, as I said before, it is my real pleasure to share this session with incredible people that I personally know, and I thank you both for being with us. First of all, we have Joceline Favre-Bulle. She is the Director of Operations at Les Roches Crans-Montana. Joceline, thank you very much for joining us today, and please give us some introduction on who you are.
Perfect. So first of all, thank you so much for having me here today. It's a real pleasure to be here, and especially to, as you said in your fantastic introduction, especially to talk about this interesting topic. So yes, I'm Joceline Favre-Bulle. I'm the Director of Operations at Les Roches Crans-Montana. So this means that I'm responsible for the F&B operations, the facility management, current and future hospitality services, and also the practical element of the BBA 1 program. So South African British, and I come from a global industry background, having managed properties both in Switzerland, in the UK, as well as being involved with openings in New York. So I think that's pretty much it.
Thank you very much, Joceline. Great for that introduction. I'll introduce you now to Ms. Maria Eugenia Fernandez. She's a senior lecturer at Les Roches Marbella with sustainability at her heart. Maria Eugenia, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here joining this session today. Just a little bit a little introduction. I have a professional background in the hospitality industry in the front of the house, the rooms division more specifically. I've been teaching sustainability here in Les Roches for a few years now, and I'm a current PhD candidate for a specialization in sustainability. So as you say, yes, it's at heart. I enjoy teaching this course and all courses, and I try to transmit to the students my passion to try to help people and help the environment in any case.
Thank you very much, Maria Eugenia. Since you're already here, I'll kick off with one important question that could maybe also set the context which is, why does hospitality have to go sustainable? What is your point in that?
Well, actually, in simple words, sustainability means that natural ecosystems can continue to support life and provide resources to meet the needs of the present and future generations. So sustainability is the key, anyway, to any successful business nowadays. And for the tourism sector, it's really important. Sustainability is on the rise as the guests actually increasingly demand sustainable hospitality during their holidays. So hotels and resorts are dedicated to positive social and environmental impact, actually.
What would you say? And I think it's something that we actually see, but more and more hospitality travelers choose sustainable companies, for their stays.
Indeed, because people in general, we are, and I include myself, we are all aware of what is going on in the planet, but not only about the environment as well, what is going on with people around the world. Human rights that nowadays in the 21st century still are being violated everywhere in the world, within different companies actually as well. So it is really important for any company, and hospitality in this case, because that's what we are talking about, to take care of people and the planet and the environment. And people are aware of this. So yes, they are trying to choose companies, in this case, hotels, that are really caring for this. And they show that, and they are transparent about it.
Joceline, what's your take on, choosing for your holidays, maybe, is it something that you also look into when you're choosing a destination to go?
Absolutely. And I think more and more it's becoming an absolute customer need. And I think this, for me, when I'm booking a holiday, this is something that I will definitely look at. And, we have all different accreditation systems, ratings, etc. So this it becomes something that people look at. And I think that, it's the importance of the future. And for me, this is why it's so important that we teach this within our schools, because it's no longer enough to be a good hotel manager. To manage a hotel well is not enough anymore. You need to be able to manage a hotel well in a sustainable way. It's no longer only about the financial gain. It's also about the sustainable deliverables. And furthermore, it's actually about combining both of those. So it's actually about being able to run a business in a sustainable way and achieving financial targets. And this is what we at Les Roches at both campuses are committed to teaching our students.
Students who, I think you all agree, students that are coming to our campuses, our current students that are here or our recent alumni, sustainability is part of their agenda. And I think the profile of students that are coming into our campuses are more conscious, which not only is satisfying to see, but it also creates a more dynamic campus as students that come with sustainability as an objective actually participate in many of the things that we do. In that sense, one of the things I mentioned in terms of how Les Roches can actually lead a generation of change, agents of change in terms of hospitality, is how we are setting the standards on campus. And I'm very happy to say that within the Les Roches way of life, sustainability has always been there, has always been embedded in everything that we do. And luckily, when it times came to maybe certify certain things of sustainability, we were way ahead in everything that we do. With that in mind, setting the standards on campus, either Maria Eugenia, I'll raise this question to you. What initiatives are being implemented in Marbella, for example?
Well, thank you for the question, Mano. As you know, and as you well said, sustainability is embedded in the Les Roches way of life, and in this case, in Les Roches Marbella way of life. In regard to social responsibility, Les Roches Marbella follows the standards marked by the SGE 21, the Ethical and Responsible Management System, and is as well committed to follow the standards set by the ISO 14001, which is a global and sector independent standard for the introduction and continual improvement of environmental management system. In the different areas of our school, for example, in the food and beverage department, Color bags are used for recycling. Different materials like organic, plastic, paper, glass, as well as used oil, for example, is separated and sent away to be recycled. Plastic containers of chemical products are as well separated to be collected for recyclability. Les Roches Marbella donates twice a week as well food to the Red Cross. And in regards of food, this is something that is being done this semester, and the initiative has been taken actually by students. To manage food waste, there is a project in which we are going to get composters. Actually, I think 4 of them have been ordered in order to manage food waste. As well, we have created an organic garden with plan to expand and have enough vegetable production in the coming months to be able to complement the food for a restaurant for about 20 people. Boxes and other menage as well, or takeaway food and room service are made of biodegradable material. We are doing so many things. Faulty furniture, for example, and equipment are collected as well by a person who destined them to charity. Cleaning tools like wipes, for example, are made of recycled materials. And as from this year, since March 2022, the 90% of all our cleaning products are eco-friendly. And as well, in regard to energy management, we have installed solar panels, as you will know, in our school, which are going to provide a third part of our energy consumption. And the main purpose of these solar panels was to provide our students with access to electric cars that they can rent, some Mini Coopers that we have at the entrance of the school. So that will be accessible very soon for our students. So zero emission vehicles are at the present, and the future of the car industry. As well, all lamps around the school have been switched to LED, and all the exterior lighting system in the corridors are clock controlled. And as well, in the kitchen, the equipment runs on gas instead of electricity. So I don't know, probably I'm forgetting some of the things.
Well, I mean, it's true that the list goes on, and it
yes,
just comes to show
it's
that
quite long, yeah.
it comes to show that it's actually embedded in our DNA and everything
Exactly.
we do, which it's not something that we pay particular attention to make sure that we're doing, but it's actually already something that we do as an automatism, no? And I think I'm happy to say that in both campuses, both in Crans-Montana, we share similar practices. But I think there's a very interesting initiative, and maybe Joceline, you can talk about in terms of food waste that you're doing in the Crans-Montana campus.
Yeah, absolutely. So sort of building on all the wonderful practices that have already been mentioned. Yeah, we sort of have 3 focus points at the moment in Crans-Montana. And as you said, one of them is waste reduction. Then we have our buildings and our academic, but expanding a little bit on the waste reduction. We put into place as of January a system called Kitro, which basically is a data-driven system to reduce food waste. So all the waste either coming from the kitchen, coming back from the buffets, or coming back from the student plates is photographed as it's disposed into the dustbin, and it's also weighed at the same time. And therefore, a simple example that I can give you is you can monitor, for example, on the breakfast buffet, how much fruit salad you might eat in November and July. And the chances are that in July, due to the weather, people want to eat more fruit salad and less scrambled eggs. And therefore, it's a way to be data driven, bringing the innovation side into it in the creation of menus and reduction of food production. This we've partnered with Kitro, and we've got their scales in 2 of our kitchens already, and we hope to expand them through to all of our kitchens. And sort of building on that, because the waste reduction is a whole part of a plan, is we still, you cannot ever in our size establishment reduce food waste to 0. So what we've put in place to try and substantially reduce it more is Too Good to Go. Now, this is an application where the public can actually buy the leftover food at a very much reduced price. So for example, if an outlet shuts at 7, between 7 o'clock and 7:15, the public can come, or students or staff, and buy, they go on the app and they reserve their meal. We prepare the meal in the kitchen, and it's in a takeaway bag ready to go at a fraction of the price. And this is great. And for example, for myself, when I get home, I know that my daughter's going to have a cooked meal with real vegetables, and I'm not going to spend 3 hours doing it. So it's a really practical solution at the same time. And just to briefly, the third piece of this puzzle, which we put into play last year, was reducing on our takeaway packaging. So we partnered with Recircle, a Swiss company who make, in essence, Tupperware takeaway packaging, and we've implemented this in all of our takeaway outlets. So we have one outlet that is only takeaway, and there now the students come with their Tupperware, which they're given at the beginning of the semester, and in return they get new ones, and the food is all packaged like this. In effect, we've been able to reduce our takeaway packaging by 95%, and the sort of last 5% is for too good to go. So we still have to, there's no way around the takeaway packaging here, but this is all part of our efforts in waste reduction. So yeah.
We talk about everything that we do on campus as part of our DNA and as part of the staff and faculty that work on campus. And then we also mention the students and how this is so important to them. So how, maybe Eugenia, how do we involve our students on everything that we do in terms of sustainability, not only obviously in the academic side, but in everything else?
Yes, of course. Our job as educators is to make them understand the importance of leading a sustainable lifestyle, and to make sure that they can contribute as well to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. The school has a sustainability club, which actually is led by students. Every semester, one of the students is in charge of this club, and this person is arranging activities throughout the semester in which students are the ones participating and arranging the activities. For example, participating in events to raise funds for different charitable organizations, beach cleanings organized by them, workshops organized by them as well and delivered by them. We just had one last week during the Earth Week that we organized here in Les Roches, Marbella, in which some students brought some piece of clothing that was broken and had no use anymore, and another student was teaching them how to create a shopping bag. For example, this type of workshops, or markets to sell secondhand clothes. So all these type of activities, and as well ideas that they propose, like this semester they are going to build beehive things, the idea of the composters as well to manage food waste, and obviously they are very much involved in social issues. So this semester we are working, or they are working with two organizations. One is Fundación Arena, which is a non-profit private organization, which main objective actually is to provide equal rights and opportunities for the LGBT group. Another organization they are going to be working with is Fundatul. It's an organization that helps people with disabilities to access the labor market by providing them training and mentoring. And the students are the ones who are going to be providing them this training and mentoring. They are going to be the teachers. And they are really proud to be able to help and to be involved in this type of activities. And I'm really proud of them as well for participating.
Thank you, Maria Eugenia. Effectively, you said we have student clubs that are related to sustainability. In Marbella, I think it's called Sustainability Club, and in Crans-Montana, it's the Green Club, and they have a lot of things in common, and I think there are even synergies between both clubs. What activities do the students take part in Crans-Montana, Joceline?
So it's very, very similar, and we try, as we already said, we try and embed them in the life of the everyday and the student life, the sustainability. So the student Green Club, they run a food waste competition most semesters. So this is something that is for us really important. So it's nice when the students, it's peer to peer, and so we run a food waste competition where students that come back with an empty tray, with an empty plate, will then get a point, and we gamify it so that there's prizes with students that get to a certain amount of points, and they can get a free coffee at the lobby bar, or a free cocktail, or a free mocktail in one of our bars. So we try in these ways. This autumn, we will also be planting an orchard. So we're focusing on the biodiversity moving forward. We have a project that's working hand in hand with the commune here, and we try and get the students involved also to work with external partners, the commune. It's a great way of introduction to working with different constraints that are provided by an external partner, as well as the ones that we may have. So it becomes a lot more real, and we bring them into the meetings, which is really nice. And then we plan to plant the orchard in October, which will be sort of led by the Green Club. And beyond the Green Club, we will also invite staff, children, and do a big sort of planting picnic on the day, as well as recycling and different initiatives that they bring in on a daily basis.
Thank you, Joceline. I think everybody is pretty much aware of the 2030 agenda and the UN SDGs. How is it embedded as well, and are our plans embedded within that direction? Maybe either Maria Eugenia or Joceline can maybe comment, and I would also like to ask you, what's your favorite SDG?
Well, if I may say, my favorite SDG is number 4, quality education, because actually this is the key to achieve many of the other SDGs, and actually to be able to respect human rights all over the world. So they're all favorite, they're all important to me, but actually this is my favorite, and even in class, I keep stressing this one towards the student, the importance of quality education, how important it is to achieve all the other ones.
Thank you. How about you, Joceline?
That's really funny, because actually it's the same for me. So I see a huge importance in free quality education, because having grown up in South Africa, you see the benefits of this. And so for me, this is something really true and dear to my heart. And I think that, whilst all the SDGs are really, really important, it really is a matrix that supports each other. But for me, it really starts with a good education. And this is also education of all levels, which is why we have such a responsibility to teach this in our schools.
For the people that don't know the SDGs, obviously you can look it up on their website. Could you share with me some of the SDGs that there are within the goals? Other than number 4?
Yes, of course. Number 1, no poverty. Number 2, zero hunger. Number 3, health and well-being. Number 4, education. Number 5, gender equality. 6, clean water and sanitation. I can go on if you want.
I see that you've done, your SDGs, Maria Eugenia.
7, access to affordable and clean energy. 8, decent work and economic growth, etc.
Yeah, and I think even beyond the SDGs, it's interesting to look at the 2030 agenda and how they connect together, and how we can split this into people, prosperity, planet, partnership, and peace. And I think this is really an interesting way to look at it. And I think definitely on the Carl Montana campus at this moment, we're focusing quite a lot on the planet and the partnership piece, because this is where we really can bring in the most tangible value, in my opinion. So we have partnerships with different overarching sustainable organizations that we work with, because whilst we lead the sustainability on the campus, we need to really listen to the experts in all these cases. And I think that's really, really important. And this is also where we can create partnerships, not only with sustainable organizations, but organizations that we can support to achieve a better future and a more sustainable future. And then I think the planet element for me is something that we do on a daily basis when we try and put all of these initiatives into place and we push forward with our continuous improvements, whether that be energy, buildings, academic. As we said, we know the importance of having sustainability threaded through the entire academic journey. And, you know, in Les Roches, Montana, we've now put in place a sustainable elective in the BBA, so the students can decide that they would like to specialize, or a specialization in sustainability, and so they can decide this at the end of their bachelor, as well as going back to the waste reduction. But when I was thinking about it in preparation for this, I was like, really, where do we have the biggest impact? And for me, that really is the planet and the partnerships.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Eugenia, you being a lecturer, and then Joceline did comment on that, on the different subjects. Can you explain to us what subjects we have related to sustainability within our programs?
Yes, we have a few. We introduced already the first course in sustainability years ago, and since then, sustainability courses have been introduced in all the programs. BBA, postgraduates, and masters. Some of these courses are, for example, environmental waste management, principles of sustainability and innovation, in which we stress the importance of innovation towards sustainability, sustainable development in a globalized world, and responsible global citizen, and socially responsible organizations, for example. And now as well, we are working in implementing as well in the near future a specialization like they are doing in Trans-Montana, the BBA 7 specialization in sustainability. And I just would like to stress something that Joceline was just talking about a moment ago, the importance of the planet. And let's please remember that last year the United Nations has proclaimed a new human right. To live in a healthy planet is a human right. So we all have the right to live in a healthy planet, because we cannot live without the planet. The planet can live without us, but we cannot live without it. So it's really important, yes.
Thank you very much, Eugenia, for highlighting that. Just as a recap, you know, we talked about how sustainability is embedded in Les Roches. We set the standard on campus with the different initiatives that we have. Sustainability within the curriculum, as both of you highlighted as well. Our collaboration with different entities as well is without key, which comes to show that within Les Roches, we teach holistic sustainability. It's not just about certain things, but it's how it's part of, as I said before, our way of life in a holistic way. And another very important point is our campuses and how we create spaces for innovation in terms of sustainability. And with that, I did want to highlight Joceline as a leader of one of our incredible events that happen every year, which is the Shiftin event. Joceline, would you mind sharing a bit of what that event is? You know, how did it come to create? I'll take this opportunity to congratulate you from when it started and where you brought it, and we're coming into its third year straight. Please comment a bit on the Shiftin event.
Absolutely. No, and you're right. It's something, you know, and there's a whole team behind this that work extremely hard, both on the Les Roches Montana and also, as of the last 2 events, also on the Marbella campus. So it's a massive congratulations to the entire team, because it's a great event. And as you said, we're moving into the 3rd edition of Shiftin this year, but the 4th edition of what started as the Environmental Festival. So if we go back to year 1, it was called the Environmental Festival. The reason it was a festival was we wanted to do it over a couple of days, and this was before COVID time. So the idea was to have a on-campus event and to have different elements all over the campus, which was fantastic the first year. And then the second year we got hit with the COVID, and we said, okay, but we're not going to cancel it. And so we changed it into a digital event for that edition. The event consists of three pillars basically. So we have an academic pillar where we have different academic competitions which we invite all hotel schools to take part in. There's a hackathon, an industry-led competition, and a couple of position papers. We have an industry pillar where we invite leaders from the industry and also from the academic field of hospitality to deliver keynotes and different workshops. And I think it was just earlier this week I saw that two of our headliners from last year, Shiftin, Dr. Willie Legrand and Dr. Ian Yeoman were awarded Global Hospitality Awards, which was fantastic. And so the quality of speakers that we have at the event is really the top quality. So to give you an idea of last year, we had over 500 registrations. We had 34 speakers, 12 different nationalities. We had attendees from Switzerland, Spain, United States, India, Germany, UAE, France, United Kingdom, Greece, and Kenya. And it's something that's growing each year. We now run it in a hybrid fashion. So that's the third pillar, is a local pillar. And this is sort of independent on both campus sides. So in Crans-Montana, we do something with our local community, because if we were to hold an environmental festival and not do something with the local community, it would not really be true to its name. So both in Crans-Montana and in Spain, we work with our local communities also to spread the knowledge and to use the platform to increase our outreach. And this will be going ahead this year in November again.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you could share the date of the next event. So
Absolutely.
November.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, congratulations again on that. And I take also the opportunity to thank Maria Eugenia, because I know she has been in collaboration so that the Shiftin event is definitely cross-campus event, and that has the collaboration of all of our students. It's very exciting to see the interest from our students towards the event, but also from the industry. And that's something that Joceline highlighted. I think we are definitely leading the way, and the industry, the hospitality industry, is looking into our events and taking ideas from what are brought up in these events that take place on campus, and eventually implementing them in the industry. So this just really comes to show, how within Les Roches we're also leading the hospitality sector in terms of sustainability. I'll take the opportunity to say hello to some people that are following us. Mainly, there are some alumni that are also following us. So hello to all of you. Thank you for being with us today. Before I go on a short recap of our event today, I open the floor to comments or questions. So please feel free to send any questions that you might have, either for the campuses in general, or for Joceline in particular, or Maria Eugenia in particular. We'll be looking at those questions if there are any. In the meantime, just as a recap, very exciting, very important part of our global education within Les Roches. Our students are very conscious about the situation, and so are we. Thanks to the participation and the preoccupation of our students in terms of sustainability, this also brings us to ensuring that our game is where it should be. So thanks to all that participation. I have a question here from actually a Les Roches alumni. What are the three main SDGs that you believe Les Roches should and will be focusing on in the next couple of years? Thank you, Enola, for that question. So the question is, I'll put it here if you want.
Yeah. If I may go, of course, the one I said earlier, quality education. It's our duty to deliver quality education to our students so they are prepared for the future. And in regards to that, they could access decent employment. That's SDG number 8, decent employment, and contribute to economic growth. So that's already 2 of them. And obviously, I would put all the environmental SDGs like in a cocktail. And please, I keep highlighting this to them. Take care of the planet. 13, climate action. 14, life on land, life below water. So important.
Thank you, Maria Eugenia. Joceline?
Yeah, absolutely. So from my side, I think, life on the planet, life on the water is really important, sort of probably more on a personal note. But I think where the Les Roches students can really make an impact is more related to poverty and also more related to climate change within the within the hospitality business.
Perfect, Joceline. I don't know if we have any other comments. Somebody is actually writing a few comments. We can wait a bit to see if they are interested in asking any questions.
Yeah. In the meantime, just to update you exactly on the dates of Shiftin, because if there is anybody who would like to join us for Shiftin, of course, watch this space. And the dates for the 2022 edition will be the 17th and 18th of November.
Great. One more question that just popped up. A bit more about our specializations in BBA 6 and 7. Either Joceline or Eugenia want to take that question?
Please, Joceline, because you're implementing that already.
Yes. So I mean, on the academic side, this is not so much my area, but again, this is going to be a specialization that's going to come in BBA 7. And we will have a field trip to as part of this specialization. And I think, as we already discussed throughout the BBA program, sustainability is embedded. We start in BBA 1 with sustainability courses, and I think the specialization is really to get a little bit more granular. I think this is really oriented towards anyone who would want to move into that area or orient themselves towards that area in their career. But from my perspective, I would recommend it to anyone who plans to run a hotel, because I think the only way in the future to run a hotel is to run a sustainable hotel. So it's really building on everything else we do in the journey throughout the other semesters and getting really a little bit more granular on it together with project work.
Thank you, Hossein, for that question. Of course, if you want to get into more detail, very happy to put you in contact with our sustainability specialized lecturers, such as even Maria Eugenia. So please feel free to do so. I'll take one more question, as we're almost reaching the end of our presentation. And the question comes from another alumni. Any activities that Les Roches, Spain or Switzerland will undertake soon in order to comply with the SDG goals? I think we've been talking a bit about this, but maybe it could be an opportunity to highlight any particular activity. Do you want to highlight any?
Yeah, I think this is one that I can also take, and not necessarily specifically at particular SDGs, but more looking towards the 2050 ambitions. And interestingly, we were the first hospitality school to sign up with the SunX Malta program framework towards this. So I think this is something that we've already we've set our ambitions, and it's something that we oriented ourselves towards in everything that we do. So I think in general, on both the Spanish and the Crans-Montana campus, we're taking into account the 2030 agenda, the 2050 ambitions in everything we do now, and it's a choice at this point, but in the very, very near future, it's going to be legislation. So in fact, we need to be ahead of the game here, and this is what we are really trying to do on our campuses.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Would you like to add anything to that, Eugenia?
No, just all the activities that we mentioned during this conversation, obviously, that Les Roches is doing and the students are doing. Many of them are obviously in order to comply as well with SDG goals. Yes.
Thank you. It's true that we've added the SDG goals in our campus screen, so you can choose one every day, so the students are aware of them. So we're reaching the end of the event. I don't know if there's any more questions. Well, no more questions that we have on the chat box. So before we go, just to highlight a few important things that we've mentioned throughout the event, and maybe as a last comment for all of you. Remember two important things. Everyone and everybody in hospitality has an incredible opportunity to do things to change the world. And not only that, we do have the resources and the responsibility to do so. And from a Les Roches perspective, this is very important within our agenda and within our values that are embedded in our way of life. And we are very happy to see that we are actually creating change by starting with education on campus. And as you know, as a highlight, I would say Les Roches is creating sustainability agents of change. That is what we do here on campus in all the things that we do. So we've reached the end. We don't have any more comments from students. I do appreciate very much Joceline for taking the time to be with us. You have a very intense agenda today. So I know that you had to find some time to be with us, but it was really great to hear from you. Thank you again for everything that you're putting together. Congratulations on the organization of the Shiftin event, and of course, everything that you do daily on the Crans-Montana campus. Please give our regards to everyone up in the mountains, and Eugenia as well. I know you have to go to class right now. You have students that are waiting for you. So thank you for especially taking the time to be with us, sharing your knowledge, and being part of the change that we'd like to see in the world and starting through our students.
Thank you.
It's been a great time to chat with you. I'm sure we can go on for some time. Those of you that are more interested in knowing a bit more, we're of course very open to speaking to all of you in maybe visiting our campus. Okay, so that's all the time we have for today. And thank you very much. Take care, everyone. Regards from Les Roches.
Thank you
so much. Such a pleasure.
Thank you
so much.